Yes, good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon.
Good
You are
afternoon,
able
ma'am.
to
Good
see?
afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, very good afternoon. You are able to
Good
see my
afternoon, ma'am.
screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
can. Yes,
Good
yes.
afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Okay, we'll quickly start off. See, in the morning class, we had learned terminologies about graph and graph. Okay, let us go into further details of a few special types of graphs. Okay, now whenever you have u comma v, all right, as an edge of the graph, let us say u comma v is one of the edge of the graph G. All right. Now u is said to be adjacent to V. When you have two edges like this is u, this is V. U is said to be adjacent to V. V is said to be adjacent to U. All right. In that case, U is called as the initial vertex. V is called as the terminal vertex. Okay. Whenever you have a directed edge, let me say it is a directed edge. Whenever you have a directed edge u comma v, u is called as the, both of course u and v are adjacent vertices because they are next to each other. U is called as the initial vertex, v is called as the terminal vertex. Suppose you had a loop, then both initial as well as terminal will be the same in that case. All right. Now for this for this particular edge looping, which is the initial and which is the terminal means it is the same. Initial also will be the same, terminal also will be the same. But when you have an edge, directed edge like this, u to v, then in that case, u is called as initial vertex, v is called as the terminal vertex. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Next, let us see what do we mean by a. We have seen what is a degree of a vertex. Okay, now let us see what do we mean by an in degree and out degree of a vertex B. All right, now in degree is denoted by degree and a minus sign and a V. This is how you represent in degree. This is in degree is nothing but number of edges with V as the terminal vertex. That means your edge should end at V. Okay, how many such edges are ending, terminating at V? That is called as the in degree of V. We also have what is called out degree. Out degree is represented as degree plus V. What does this mean? This is nothing but what are the edges wherein V is going to be the initial vertex. Which are the edges for which V is the initial vertex? That many edges if we count, then we get to know what is the out degree of that particular vertex. Are you clear? In degree means in degree of a vertex X is those vertices, I mean those edges which terminates at V. That means it terminates means completes or it stops at V. Out degree means which are the edges for which, how many edges are there for which V is the initial vertex. In other words, out degree means from a particular vertex V, how many are outgoing? That is your out degree. Okay. How many are outgoing is your out degree. How many are incoming edges? That is your in degree. Let us take one simple example. Let me take a graph. Okay, suppose we have this particular graph. Let me quickly draw that. And then you have This is A, this is B, this is C, okay, D, E. You have one more here, that is F. All right. Now, can we find out the in degrees of all the vertices in this particular graph G? In degrees. Let us first find out what are the in degrees of the vertices. Let us say, how do we represent in degree? Degree, then a minus sign, and let's take up A. You tell me how many edges are coming into A. That is your in degree. Or in other words, for how many edges A is going to be a terminal vertex. That is what terminal means, it terminates there. That edge should terminate at A. How many such, what is the in degree of this particular vertex? For every vertex, we should be able to find out what is the in degree and what is the out degree. All right. So degree of in degree of A. How do you represent in degree? We are always representing in degree like this. Degree and then a minus sign and then you have a B. Can anybody tell me what is in degree of A?
2.
2.
Yeah. Loop will also be considered as one of the vertex which terminates at A. It starts at A and terminates at A. So 1 and then from there you have in degree, no? What else you have? From E there is one edge if you're seeing it and then that's all. So in degree of A is 2.
2.
Can we go ahead like that for all the edges quickly?
Yes,
in degree of B, anyone?
1.
Yeah, ma'am.
Huh?
In degree.
In degree of B.
1.
1.
Why 1? There is 2, no?
2, ma'am.
1 here.
2. Along the
2. C to B is 1.
Okay.
A to B is 1. Is it not? Why you are saying 1 again? Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I can't understand that in degree.
In degree means, in degree is those for which how many edges are coming into this particular vertex B. How many edges are coming into B? 1, C and C to B, and then you have A to B. These are two vertices which are terminating at B. Terminate. How many edges will terminate at B? Please mute. That is what you call it as in degree. Any doubts? Degree, in degree of C, anyone? Please mute if anyone is.
3, ma'am.
3, ma'am.
3. You have one loop, then D to C, and then A to C. So 3. Yes, right? Did you follow, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is important for further problems. That's why I'm giving so much importance to this. You have to understand what is in degree and out degree. Let us go to degree of in degree of D.
2,
2, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, 2.
2.
Okay. In degree of E.
3. 3, ma'am.
All right.
3,
Correct.
ma'am.
Yes. In degree of F.
0.
0.
Correct. 0. F is here. F is this particular vertex is F, for which there is no edges at all, which are either starting nor ending there. So the in degree of F is 0. All right. Can we quickly go into the out degrees?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Out degree of A.
3.
How many edges are starting from A?
4, ma'am.
3.
3, ma'am.
3.
4.
4.
4, ma'am.
Loop will contribute. See, a loop at a vertex will contribute both for in degree as well as out degree, because it starts also there, it ends also there. Please mute. I am not able to talk here. Yeah, out degree of A is 4.
4.
4.
Yes. Then out degree of B,
1.
1.
1.
1. Out degree of C,
2. 1.
2.
2, ma'am.
why 2? Why 1? C. C is a loop, no? That also will contribute 1. Okay? So loop is 1 and then we have D
C
to,
to B.
sorry,
C to B, ma'am.
C to B, yes. C to B, that is 1. So you will have out degree is 2. Then out degree of D,
2, ma'am.
2.
2, ma'am.
1, 2. Correct. Okay. Then out degree of E,
3,
3,
ma'am.
ma'am.
3, ma'am.
4, ma'am.
why 4?
3, ma'am.
1. 1 is this loop. And then you have
3,
E
ma'am.
to D. And then you have E to
E to A.
A.
E to A.
Yeah. E to E, E to D, E to A.
3,
Correct?
ma'am. Yes,
So it
ma'am.
will be 3. All right? Yeah. Next. Out degree of F,
0.
0.
0. Right? This is what is called as in degree and out degree of every vertex. Is this clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how to find out in degree and out degree.
ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Always we have seen in the morning one theorem called as handshaking theorem. Okay. Similar to that, what we can say is summation of in degree of V is equal to summation of out degree of V. All right. That is equal to nothing but the total number of edges in the graph, where V belongs to the vertex. Each vertex belongs to the set of vertices V. Sum of all your in degrees plus sum of all is equal to sum of all your out degrees. That is nothing but the total number of edges that are there in the graph. Is that clear? So this is an important formula you will have to remember. Shall we proceed? Any doubts? Okay. One second, just a minute. I'll switch on the fan. It's very hot. Okay. Next, we move on to special type of graphs. The first special type of graph that we'll be seeing is what is called as the complete graph. Let us try to understand what do we mean by a complete graph. A complete graph on n vertices. Let us say the graph is having n vertices. It is always denoted by kn. Okay, it is a simple graph that contains exactly one edge between each pair of vertices. Okay, so I said a complete graph is nothing but contains n vertices. It is denoted by kn, where n stands for the number of vertices. It exactly has one edge between every pair of or each pair of distinct vertices. All right, let us see some examples. Let me take up examples for kn. For let us say n, if n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then how does my complete graph look like? K is equal, n is equal to 1. This is your K1. There is no graph at all. So just 1 point, nothing there in that. That's all. Now let us look at K2. K2 means what? N stands for the number of vertices. And there should be an edge between every pair of vertices. K2 is 2 stands for number of vertices. So I should have 2 vertices. So these are my 2 vertices. So I should have an edge between every pair of vertices. There should be one edge here. This is all. This is a complete graph with respect to K2 because you have only 2 edges. Next, let me take up K3. K3 will have how many edges? How many vertices?
3 vertices.
3 vertices it should have because it is 3. Value of n is 3. And it is called as a complete graph. When do you call it as a complete graph? When there is a edge between every pair of vertices. So I will draw like this, like this, like this. This is a complete graph for K3. Let me take it for K4. All right. K4, I should have 4 vertices. This is 4 vertices. So I should have an edge between every pair of vertices. I will join this, I will join this, I will join this, I will join this also. Then I will join this part, I will join this one also. There are no more edges which has no more vertices which are left unconnected. All right. Next, I will take 5. So 5 means I have to go for 5 vertices. Let us see how we can show that. So how do I take it? This is one vertex, this is another vertex, another vertex, another vertex, another vertex. So I have to connect all the pairs of vertices. This is one. Here I'll connect, here I'll connect this. I'll connect this one. I'll connect this one. What else can I connect? Connect this too. There is nothing else that you can connect. So this is a graph for K5. Okay, I will take one last one, K6. K6, let me take it this way. You can take the vertices however you want. Okay, I'm just taking it this way. I have to connect every pair of vertices. Should be connected by exactly one edge only. You cannot have more than one edge. Okay. All right, then I'll connect these two. I'll connect these two. What else can I connect? I'll connect this. I'll connect this. Then I'll connect this part. Then I'll connect this. Now between all pairs of vertices, we have exactly one edge. Such a graph, you call it as a complete graph. Complete graph is represented by Kn. N is nothing but the number of vertices. Is it clear to you all? Any doubt?
No, ma'am. No.
No doubt. Shall we proceed? That is called as a complete graph. Okay. So complete graph on n vertices always denoted by Kn. It's a simple graph that contains exactly one edge between each pair of distinct vertices. So for n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have taken all these examples. That's all. Your number of edges, number of vertices can be any number. So I can take n equal to 8, n equal to 9. I can go on writing like this. Okay. Even if one pair of vertex is not connected by an edge, you call it as non-complete. Even if one pair of vertex is not connected by an edge, then you call it as a non-complete graph. All right. So that is one type of graph that we have learned. That's a special type of graph. The second special type of graph that we'll be learning is what is called as cycle. Cycle. Okay. Cycle is represented by Cn, where n obviously has to be greater than or equal to 3, where n is nothing but the number of vertices again. Number of vertices means it can be v1, v2 up to vn. Okay. And it will contain edges. Let us say v1 to v2 is one edge, v2 to v3 is one edge, and so on. I can have up to vn minus 1 vn. It's a cycle, correct? So you should have one more edge which will come back to the vertices or the vertex v1. Let me take up cycle of As I said, I'll repeat again. What is a cycle? Cycle is represented as Cn. N should be greater than or equal to 3 because you cannot have a cycle with 2 vertices. That is why we have said N is greater than or equal to 3. So it contains, N is nothing but your number of vertices, contains vertices V1 to Vn. What are the edges? V1, V2, V2, V3. It will go on up to Vn minus 1 Vn and it will come back to Vn comma V1. Right? Now, let me take up C3. C3 is what? A cycle with number of vertices being equal to 3. All right. So, how can I take that? This is my 3 vertices. This is nothing but a cycle. So, you have an edge. Let me name it as ABC. So, you have an edge from A to B. B1, B2. B2, B3 is BC. B3, B1 is again CA. So it has to come back to the point where it is started. This is a cycle of containing number of vertices as 3. Let us try to write C4. C4 means 4 vertices. This is one vertex, second, third, and then you come back to the same vertex. This is again a cycle of 4 vertices. Let us write what is C5. Okay, let me put on the vertices first. Okay, all the vertices are connected. V1, V2, V2, V3, V3, V4. I mean, this is V1, V2, V2, V3, V3, V4, V4, V5, V5, V1. So that's how it gets connected. C6, I'll have 6 edges, 6 vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can take it however you want. This is one edge. This is another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. All right. That's again a cycle. So cycle means it is represented by Cn. N is the number of vertices. So you will have edges traveling from one vertex. You will have edges up to coming back to the same vertex. Clear to you all? What is a cycle?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Next. The next important special type of graph is called as wheels. It's called as wheels. Okay. So we represent wheel by Wn. Okay. You all know now what is a cycle. We have been writing cycle as Cn, correct? Where n is greater than or equal to 3. Now to this cycle, we will add a additional vertex. We'll add a additional vertex and all the n vertices will be attached or joined to this new vertex. What we get is nothing but your wheel Wn. Let me take an example so that it becomes clear to you. Go to the next page. All right. So we were talking of wheels. Suppose I will take, let us start with W3. I said we know what is C3. For example, we know what is C3. To this C3, I will add one more vertex. Okay, I will add one more vertex. All the edges, I will join it to this new vertex. Okay, now what is, let me start with C3. What is C3? This is our C3. We have 3 edges, 3 vertices. I will join all this. This is my C3. To this, I will add one new vertex. Let me take another new vertex. This is my new vertex. To this new vertex, I will join all the vertices which are already there. Okay. So this vertex I will join to this. Let me name it as ABC. This new one is D. Okay. B I have joined. C I will join it to D. A I will join it to D. So what do I get here is nothing but the called as wheel W3. Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Always to the cycle, you add a new vertex add that new vertex should be joined to the existing vertices which are there. Okay. Now, let me show you what is W4. All right. W4, I will start with C4. What was C4? This is our C4. C4, which we already saw previously. What I should do? I should add one new vertex. This is my new vertex that I am adding. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Let me call it as E. This is a new vertex. This new vertex has to be joined to all the existing vertices. So A to E I am joining, B to E I am joining, D to E I am joining, C to E I am joining. This becomes a wheel of W4. Clear to you all?
Sir.
Next, let me show you W5. In case of W5, what I'll do, I will first take C5. How did we write C5? I wrote it like this. This is the C5 that I wrote. I have to add one new vertex, so I am adding it here. And join all the vertices to this new vertices. I'll join all the vertices to this new vertices. This is a wheel of 5 or W5. Then I had written W6. Let me start with C6. C6 was something like this. Please mute. I don't want this kind of noise. Okay, this was our C6. Yeah, this was C6. I will take a new vertex, add all the vertices to this new vertex. So what we get is a wheel of 6 vertices, which is called as W6. Clear to you all? So this is another type of graph. Any doubts?
No.
So, ma'am.
Right. Next we go for one more type of graph called as n cubes. N cubes. N cube is also called as n-dimensional hypercube. It's also called like that. Okay. Now, this here we are going to n is the length of the string. N represents the length of a string or a combination of bits, I would call it. Each vertex would represent 2 to the power of n bit strings of length n. All right. So what did I say? N cubes is a special type of graph. It's also called as n-dimensional hypercube. All right. Hypercube. All right. Now, what does each vertex represents 2 to the power of n bit strings. Each of the bit string is of length n. That is why you call this n cubes. Let me take an example. And we represent it as qn. Let me take examples of n is equal to 1, 2, and 3. Beyond that, it will be difficult for us to represent. Okay. N represents what? Length n. I said n dimension. It represents a dimension. So suppose I take Q1. Z, this is Q1. One-dimensional cube or one-dimensional cube is what here we have given. 0, this is 1. Each string, this is a bit string, is of length 1. This is of length 1. All right. Now, I will go for Q2. Q2 means what? A two-dimensional figure you should be showing. All right. And each vertex represents what? 2 to the power of n. Now, when I say 2 to the power of n is nothing but 2 square. So, you will have 4 possible combinations. What are these? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. These are the 4 possible bit strings that you have. How do I represent this? Each of this will be shown as one vertex. All right. But if I start here, let us say I will take 0, 0 here. My adjacent vertices, listen carefully, adjacent vertices can change only in 1 bit. You can't change. Suppose that means, which are the adjacent vertices for this vertex? This one, let me name it A, B, C and D. Which is adjacent vertex for D? It is C and A. Both are adjacent vertices of D. Means when I give the string that C represents should be changing only in 1 bit. Means if I give 0, 0 here, I can't make C as 1, 1, or A cannot represent 1, 1 because there is both the bits are changing. One is also, both are 0, both are 1. So like that you should not have. You can have C as 0, 1. That is right because this 0 and 0 remains the same, whereas this 0 can be changed to 1. So only there is a change of only 1 bit. There should, all adjacent vertices should change only by 1 bit. You cannot have both the bits changing. All right. Now when I say C is 0, 1, what can be B? B I can take it as 1, 1 because this 1 and this 1 is the same. 0 becomes 1 here. This 0 becomes 1 here. So there is only change of 1 bit position. That's all. So that is right. Now since this is 0, 0, this is 1, 1, I can show my A as 1, 0. If I say 1, 0, 0 and 0 of A and 0 of D is the same. One more bit between D and A, there is only 1 bit change. Again between A and B, there is only 1 bit change. Two vertices are adjacent if and only if the bit strings that they represent differ in exactly 1 bit position only. You cannot have change in 2 bit positions. Are you clear?
No, ma'am.
No. Very good.
No, ma'am.
Not clear? See, when I say Q2, what is 2 representing? 2 represents the dimensions. All right. Each of the 2 represents the dimension. Each of the vertex will represent one of the bit combinations of 2 to the power of n. So every vertex will represent some combination of 2 to the power of n. When I say 2 to the power of n, it is 2 square here. So how many possible combinations you will have? You will have 4 possible combinations. Correct. What are those 4? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. These are our 4 possible combinations. Each of the vertex, there will be 4 vertex because it is Qn, Q2. So 4 vertex, each of the vertex will represent each of these. But how are you supposed to place them? 2 vertices can be adjacent only if there is a change in just 1 bit position. If both the bits are changing, you cannot place them adjacent to each other. Means each vertex will represent, suppose A, B, C and D. Each of these vertex will take each of these 4 values. Okay, I will start with 0, 0 at A. Now, which are the adjacent vertices to A? It is B and it is D. B and D are adjacent to A. Whatever vertices are adjacent, there you can have only 1 bit change. That means, suppose it says 0, 0 and 0, 1. If you compare this, how many bits are changing between 0, 0 and 0, 1? Only 1 bit is changing. The 1 bit remains the same. If such is the case, only then I can place only such a combination in the adjacent vertices. So B can take the value 0, 1 or D also can take the value 0, 1. But since B is already taken, in the sense, suppose D cannot take the value 1, 1 because both the bit positions will change here. That is wrong. Are you understanding?
Ma'am, can B take the value 1, 0?
Yeah, it can take. Yes, it can take. There should be a change in 1 bit position. That's all. You can place 1, 0 in B. That is also fine. You can place 0, 1 in A. That is also fine. But you cannot place 1, 1 either at B or at D because both B and D are adjacent. Whereas I can place at C, I can place 1, 1. Because if I place 0, 1 at B, again if I place 1, 1 at C, it is correct. Because only one bit position is changing, the other one is not changing. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us take up Q3. Q3 means what? What 3 stands for? 3 stands for a three-dimensional cube. And each vertex will represent 2 to the power of 3, that is 8 possible combinations. What are the 8 possible combinations? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Let me put a three-dimensional cube first. This is a three-dimensional cube. Okay. Now, where to place what? Now, I'll start here with these. This is a three-dimension Qn. N is 3, so three-dimensional cube. What each vertex should represent? Each vertex should represent the 8 possible combinations of 2 to the power of 3. Okay, 8 possible combinations I have put down here. Right? Now, we'll start with this vertex 0, 0, 0. Now, what are the adjacent vertex to 0, 0, 0? If I start this with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These are the vertices. Now, what are the vertices which are adjacent to A? It is F, it is B, and it is H. Now, you should place one of these 8 combinations such that they are changing in only one bit position. For example, if A is 0, 0, 0, if A is 0, 0, 0, adjacent vertex is what? B is also adjacent, F is also adjacent, H is also adjacent. These are all adjacent vertices to A. At any of these combinations of vertex, I cannot place 1, 1, 1 because all the 3 bits are changing. That is wrong. Only one bit can change its position. Either 0 can become 1, only one of the 0 can become 1, or one of the 1 can become 0. We have to keep such possible combinations at each of these vertices. Okay, so H is an adjacent vertex. So I can write 0, 0, 1 there. Because 0 and 0 both are same, only one position is changing. Right? Then for B, I can write 0, 1, 0. That is also right because 0, this 0 and this 0 are same. Only this 1 is changing. Are you understanding, all of you, what I'm trying to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next, at C, can you tell me what can we place at C?
110.
110. Yes, you can place what 110. You can place at C because B is adjacent to C. So you should take care when you are placing at F. Can we place? You can't place 111 because this A is 0, 0, 0.
Change
At
only
F
one.
100.
0, 1, 0. Can I place?
Yes, ma'am.
It is placed already. 101. 100.
It is placed already.
Yeah, yeah, it is placed already. So what can I place here?
100.
10.
100.
Yeah, 100 I can place, correct. Right, so that becomes 100. Then next is, can I place G as 101?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that is possible. Then E, what can I place?
011.
0, 1, 1. D,
111.
1, 1.
111.
Correct. So that's how you should place. All right. It's a simple one. That's a different type of that graph. This kind of graphs are called as n cubes or n dimensional hypercube. Clear to you all? Let's proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Next, we'll move on to a very important. Let me take a next page. All right. So next we will go on to another different type of special type of graph, which is called as bipartite graph. All right. So we are going to learn what is called as a bipartite graph. Now, all of us know that a graph contains a set of vertices V and a set of edges E. Now, a graph or a simple graph is called as a bipartite graph if this vertex V can be partitioned into two disjoint sets. I am partitioning the set of, we have a set of vertex. For example, vertex could be A, B, C, D, E. This is a set of vertex. I am going to find or divide this set of vertex into two subsets, let us say V1 and V2. How it should be, these two subsets? They should be two disjoint sets. Two disjoint set means what? If I take V1 intersection V2, I should get 5. That is what you call it as disjoint. So I am finding out two subsets of the vertex V1 and V2 such that every edge in the graph should connect a vertex from V1 to a vertex to V2. No edge in G connects either two vertices in V1 or both the vertices in V2. That means, suppose A, B, C, D, E. I have taken, this is my set of vertex. I am dividing this into two subsets, I said. One is A, B, C, another is D, E. How should I split my set of vertices? I should split it in such a way that they are going to form the disjoint sets. Disjoint means what? When I take the intersection of these two subsets, I should be getting 5. So let me say my set of vertex V is, that means in my graph there is A, B, C, D, E. There is a set. That's a vertex set. I'm dividing that vertex set into two subsets. One is V1, which I call it as ABC. Another is V2, which I call it as D. Now, I call my graph as a bipartite graph. Whenever I have every edge should be connecting one vertex in V1 to another vertex in V2. That means I cannot have any edge between any of the vertices here. I cannot have an edge from A to B. I cannot have an edge from B to C. I cannot have an edge from A to C. Within this set itself, I cannot have. Every edge should connect one of them from here to one of them here. I can have from A to D. I can have from A to E. I can have from B to D, B to E, C to D, C to E. This is all the possible edges that I can have. I cannot have D to E. That is wrong. I cannot have A to B. That is wrong. I cannot have B to C. That is wrong. Or A to C is wrong. Then what else? So these kind of means a edge should not involve vertex of the same subset. Such a graph you call it as a bipartite graph. Are you clear? What
Yes,
I
ma'am.
said? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me take some examples. Let me take the graph C6. What was C6? C6 was a cycle of 6 vertices. Let me take that graph. Can we refer back? This one. I had taken something like this. This was our C6. I had taken this example for cycle, correct? Right. Let me name this as V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. All right. Now, can I call this graph as bipartite? Can I call this graph as bipartite? Anybody, any answer? Can I call this graph as bipartite?
No, ma'am.
Why not? I will divide this set of vertices into two parts. such that edges should be from one set V1 to another set V2. If you look at this graph, V1 and V2 are adjacent. You cannot put them in the same set. So I will take V1 here. I will take V2 here. Okay. Then I will take V6 here, V4 here. I made some mistake. V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. This is V5. Okay, then what can I do? 3 and 4 I cannot combine because you have an edge here. I can put 3 here.
And 3 and 5.
3 and 5. Can I put like that? No, you can't. 3 and 5 should come in the same marks. Let me take 5 here and 6 here. Is it bipartite? We have an edge from V1 to V2. We have an edge from V2 to V3. We have an edge from V3 to V4. Yeah, that is also right. Then we have from V4 to V5 is also fine. We have from V5 to V6 is also fine. V6 to V1 is also fine. So that's how it should be. My two subsets should contain vertices such that every edge is from one particular subset to another particular subset. Am I clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Divide the vertices in such a way that means to say your adjacent vertices cannot be in the same subset. V1 and V2 is an adjacent here. V1 and V2 are adjacent vertices. You cannot have a edge. If you are having an edge like this, you cannot put V1 and V2 in the same subset. That is a indication. Suppose I have a graph like this. Can anybody answer me? Suppose I have a graph like this. Is it bipartite or not? This is a bipartite graph. What about this one?
No, ma'am. We cannot
Why not?
divide.
You cannot divide. You should, since you have only 3 vertices, either you should mark V1 and V2, put them into one, and V3 will be into another one. Or you should make V1 and V2 V3. Either way, you cannot form a, it is not possible to get a intersection as or a disjoint. You cannot make it. So this is not a bipartite graph. Let me give you one more graph. I want all of you to tell me whether it is bipartite or not. A, B, take some graph like this. Okay, let me name these vertices first. A, B, C. I'll call this as D, E, and F, and G. Okay, then let me connect a couple of them. A to E is connected, E to F is unconnected, F to D is connected, G is not connected. Yeah, I want you all to tell me whether this is bipartite or not. If not, why not? If yes, why yes? How can you divide these vertices? We have this set of vertices as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Can we divide the vertices into 2 subsets such that they form a disjoint set?
No,
And
ma'am.
then
We cannot
do we
divide.
have graphs wherein can we, I mean, is this graph is such that every edge is from one subset to another subset? Can we do that? I want answers from all of you.
No, ma'am. It's cannot divide.
Why can't you divide? Anyone? Can anyone tell me if we are in the right? Can we call this graph as bipartite or not? I want answers from y'all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I think
Yes, ma'am, we can divide it.
Yeah, if you can divide it, then you have to tell me what is V1 and what is V2. You have to tell me that.
we cannot divide it.
Cannot divide, ma'am.
Not divide. Why?
It's not a cyclic graph.
It need not be a cyclic graph. Okay, I just took that example of C6, but it need not be a cyclic graph. I just took the C6 and C3, but bipartite graphs need not be cyclic. See, look here. We are having, I told, any vertices which are adjacent. You cannot put them into, yes.
Two sets will be A, B, D, and C, E, F, G.
Yeah, let us see. Let us see. Okay. Any other answers? See,
Ma'am,
whenever.
I think it's wrong, ma'am. A to E. It cannot happen to that. Two sets of A, E, D.
You cannot happen. Let us see. Okay. Just listen to me. I said, whenever you are trying to do subsets of the vertices, if you are having adjacent, edge between adjacent vertices. Now A and G are, there's A, vertex A and G. These two are adjacent vertices. And that means you have an edge from A to G or G to A, whatever. So that is an indication that you cannot put A and G in the same set, or rather the same subset, because you are already connecting. It has to be in a different. So if I put A here, I have to put G there. Getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that should be an indication to all of you to find out how you can try to create these two subsets, V1 and V2. Now, let us say B and C. See here, B and C. They are adjacent vertices, correct? Why? Because you have an edge between B and C. Now, if there is an edge between B and C, obviously B has to be in a different set and C has to be in a different set. I cannot put them in the same set according to the rules of bipartite. So I will, let us say, take B here. In that case, I have to take C there. Are you getting what I am trying to say?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Look at A and D. Look at vertex A and vertex D. They are not connected at all. Okay. Now, since they are not connected, I can always put them in the same set. So A is already here. I'll put D also there. No problem. Because we are not having an edge between A and D. All right. Next. C and F you see. See that vertex C and the vertex F. They are not connected. So I can, that's an indication I can put them together. And look at what we are like G. F and G are not connected. So which is an indication that I can put F and G together. F and G are not connected. C and G are not connected. Correct? But I cannot put A and G together. That is not possible. So that's an indication that I can put C and G we have connected. E you look at. A and E are connected. So I can't put, wherever A is, I can't put it here because A and E are connected. B and E are connected. So I cannot put E in the set where B is there. I can't do that. Whereas E and G are not connected. So I can put them in the same set. D and E are connected. So wherever D is, I can't put E. Are you getting me, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's how I find that's how I
F
find
and D is connected, no, ma'am.
Connected, no, ma'am.
what, ma'am?
F
and
and
D
D
is
are
connected.
connected.
No, F and D are not connected. F is connected to D.
Ma'am, it is not
E is
connected. F
connected.
and
Ma'am,
D.
but in the
No.
graph,
F and E are not connected, ma'am. If you're, I don't know if I made my, this is F.
Yes,
F is
ma'am.
connected to D. And this is E, which is connected to D. Okay, this E is, I don't know if you are able to,
Okay.
F and D, this part is not connected. That's not connected. All right. F and D is not connected. So now if I take the intersection of these two sets, V1 and V2, it is still a null set. That means these two subsets are, what do you say, disjoint. And I have every edge which is connecting from V1 to V2. A to G is connected. So A is in V1, G is in V2. B and C are connected. B is in V1, C is in V2. D, F is connected. D is in V1, F is in V2. Like that, every edge if you check, they are such that each vertex belongs to a different set. That is why we call this as a bipartite graph. Are you clear, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good.
Ma'am, is
Yeah.
F and D connected?
F and
D
F and D is connected, yes.
connected, and F and E is not connected, right?
Correct. F and E is not connected.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let me. Next, we'll be learning is there is something called as complete bipartite graph, and after that we'll be going on to different concepts. So complete bipartite graph probably we'll take it up tomorrow. Any doubts so far? Whatever we have done for today's class, all of you.
No, ma'am.
Is it clear to you all? You are able to see the board and follow up whatever I'm to say?
Yes, ma'am.
No issues?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, ma'am, I don't understand that. Ma'am, what is that? Tournament graph, ma'am.
Tournament graph.
Yes, ma'am. Tournament, sorry, ma'am.
Okay.
Applications, tournament networks. Sorry, ma'am. Now I asking.
Tournament. Who asked me?
Makrut.
Okay, fine. I will again touch that upon maybe tomorrow's class. No issues. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. 1 minute, please. All right. Answer your attendance quickly. See, tomorrow's class we'll be taking up very important topics. So I don't want any of you to miss the classes. If you want any change in the way we are doing, I can always adapt to some changes. But I want all of you to attend regularly without missing this. The graph theory is very important and it is easy to score also. So don't miss your classes. It's important. Anaga, answer your attendance.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash,
Yes, ma'am.
Akhil,
Yes, ma'am.
Nakrut,
Yes, ma'am.
Akshay, Anusha,
Yes, ma'am.
Aravind,
Yes, ma'am.
Arifullah,
Yes, ma'am.
Dhanakraj,
Present, ma'am.
Anuprakash, Bhargav,
Yes, ma'am.
Ramtullah,
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra, Chandana,
Present, ma'am.
Charan,
Yes, ma'am.
Darshan,
ಅವ್ನು
Diksha,
ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡವ್ನೆ.
Present, ma'am.
Dakshayani,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Kishan,
Present, ma'am.
Harshit, Hemalata,
Present, ma'am.
Uma,
Present, ma'am.
Jayant,
Present, ma'am.
Divya,
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik,
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi,
Present, ma'am.
Lavanya,
Present, ma'am.
Manish,
Present, ma'am.
Manoj,
Yes, ma'am.
Mohit,
Yes, ma'am.
Naval,
Yes, ma'am.
Navya,
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil,
Present, ma'am.
Anindra,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Present, ma'am.
Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Purnima,
Yes, ma'am.
Raman,
Yes, ma'am.
Rashmi,
Yes, ma'am.
Rupak,
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
Samir,
Present, ma'am.
Santosh,
Present, ma'am.
Shadab,
Present, ma'am.
Charan,
Present, ma'am.
Shashank,
Yes, ma'am.
Sheetal,
Present, ma'am.
Shivani,
Present, ma'am.
Soumya, Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Vishnu,
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini, Sushma,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita,
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita, you,
Present, ma'am.
Tikta,
Present, ma'am.
Tripti,
Present, ma'am.
Varsha, Veena.
Present, ma'am.
I'm Pawan,
Veena.
present, ma'am.
Yeah. See, tomorrow's class, we again will be doing something really very important. It is, don't please join in just for the sake of attendance. That will not at all help you, I'm telling you. This,
Ma'am, Darshan
yeah.
present, ma'am.
Okay. So,
I'm Pawan,
make
present,
sure that you are attending the whole hour. Don't simply join in at the end and for the sake of attendance. If you are going to join, you will only suffer because we may have to, no, I don't know, online classes from 5th you have to come for offline, obviously. But if it gets extended, then we may have to finish the module online completely. Then please don't lose your marks. That's my, in that interest, I'm telling you. Then up to you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, can
Hello.